It's our first full day in Cappadocia and we are gonna do a full day tour to explore some of the amazing caves, landscapes that this place has to offer.
Today we are going to do the green tour. When you get to Cappadocia, you'll have essentially two options to book the red tour or the green one. And we were initially drawn to the red one because the views seem better, but in reality they're a bit repetitive according to the guide who sold us the other tour, the green tour. And that's exactly what we're gonna do today.
We paid 45 euros per person. We know that some other agencies were selling it for 60, but you can get it for less. We're gonna take you along with us, review the whole experience, and you can see for yourself if it's worth it and if you want to book this tour. So let's get going.
Unique, nowhere else in the world, only in here, and this is mostly volcanic. Cappadocia is 90% volcanic.
The first stop had beautiful views over the town of Goreme, and it was here that we learned about the thousands of caves that were used for refuge all around Cappadocia centuries ago.
In our second stop, we also learned about how locals used to train pigeons to send messages across towns.
We were not allowed to record the third stop, but essentially it was a gemstones shop, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tourist destination where they take you there and they try to sell you some of the stones. And of course, they are mined from here, so there's history behind it, but you never really know.
There are some... Sorry, there was a dog literally.
Now we've made it to the next spot,
which is one of the craters of the area, because the whole of Cappadocia is a volcanic area. So it's really cool because there's a lake kind of that has formed in the crater, and we still have the underground city to see.
That's gonna be the exciting part of that about this tour. So let's get to it.
After the lake, we started driving to the Ihlara Valley, a 15-kilometer long canyon surrounded by nature. We made a stop here to have lunch at a beautiful restaurant by the river.
You know soup because in the soup.
We just had lunch, which was included in the tour, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, we had lentil soup as a starter, then there was a salad, a main, which was you could choose between chicken, meatballs, fish, or a vegetarian dish. Alba had meatballs, I had chicken, and they were both delicious.
And now we are gonna go for a walk around the valley, which honestly looks really good because there's like a river. We just saw some ducks passing.
I think they were swans, but okay.
Not sure about that. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then final stop of the tour is gonna be the underground city, which is meant to be like the best thing of today.
And it's time for us to go because our tour guide is calling us. Let's go.
We finally arrived to the underground city, and apparently we're gonna go like 3 or 4 levels down, then that's like 20 meters deep, and some of the tunnels are really narrow and low, so we're gonna have to like scrunch like this. It reminds me to like the Cucci tunnel tour that we did recently, but let's see if this one is as tight, so I'm excited to see it. Before going in, our guide explained the history behind these underground cities and how they were built for shelter and hiding during religious raids in the Byzantine Empire.
almost everything they had outside, they built into the underground city, like ventilation systems, water, wineries, churches, even graveyards.
Has a ventilation.
You can feel the freshness.
Oh! My knees. It's crazy to think that almost 3,000 people used to live here at one given time, and sometimes they wouldn't leave these tunnels for like 5-6 months. And there's 8 levels down. We're only going 4. There's 8. And they even used to have graveyards here. So they would bury people here. They would store food here. They would cook here. They would live here. Their whole lives was here. And I can barely, look at my knees. I barely have space or stamina to walk here. I was doing a better job than me, but she's smaller.
You're out, you're out. This was by far the best activity of today's tour, and we are finished. We are gonna drive back to the town of Goreme, but we are not finished for the day because we are gonna go watch the sunset at a sunset spot in the town. So stay tuned, because when we get there we're gonna share all our thoughts on the tour. So let's go do that.
Turns out there was one last stop, which was a gift and delicatessen shop where you could buy souvenirs, and we were given traditional sweets, snacks and coffee to try.
At last, we got dropped at the town and decided to walk all the way up to the sunset viewpoint.
It is quite steep.
We just got to the viewpoint and the camera died, so we are gonna show you the sunset, and then after we're gonna tell you everything, our thoughts and reviews about the tour. But first, let's look at this view because it's unreal.
Wow, the sun, it hits you in the face, and we're gonna see a great view of the sunset, I think.
So, the green tour. I think that the underground city made the whole tour worth it. We saw at the entrance that the price for one ticket is 13 euros. So if you take that into account, plus the fact that we had lunch, transport and a tour guide, it was pretty worth it.
It was definitely worth it, and I think this is important to know, because if you go online, for example on Get Your Guide, you will see that the tour costs between 32 to 33 euros, but it doesn't include museum fee entrance. So you would end up paying the extra 13 euros and make the tour 45 euros no matter what. So on that front, all good. 45 euros per person is a good price. Now, as Alba said, the underground city is really what makes the whole tour worth it. Not only being able to explore it, but having a guide with you that tells you about the history of it and tells you about details that you wouldn't necessarily know unless you're with someone who has experience.
Some of the stops maybe we would have skipped, especially the shops, but you know, when you're going on a tour like this, it's likely to be included. Either way, I think it was worth it. If you were to do it by yourself, I don't even know how you would get to all these places. Like maybe you would have to rent a car or get a taxi. I don't know. So just having someone drive us and explain the whole history of Cappadocia, which we learned so much about, was really, really worth it, I think.
And I think the green tour kind of gets the edge over the red tour because of the underground city. In the red tour, what we've been told is that you do a lot of stops in locations with panoramic views over chimneys sort of structures, which are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but after you do it once or twice, it doesn't make sense to continue for the rest of the day doing the exact same.
So the green tour probably gets you more value for your money, more culture, more history, and the red tour does seem more of like a hop on and off.
But yeah, this is our recommendation. If you come to Cappadocia, we definitely recommend you to do the green tour, or at least consider it, because otherwise you'll just spend the whole day in the city, which is lovely, by the way, exploring, but you can see a lot more through the tour. And all of this traveling and exploring the surroundings of Cappadocia just makes us realize that there's 1,000+ year history in this place. There's so much to learn about the culture, and we are so glad that we did the tour, because otherwise we wouldn't know about these things.
We highly recommend. I think you could potentially come to Cappadocia and stay for 3-4 days and do all the tours, do all the trekking, but if you don't have so much time, 1 or 2 days like we did is enough, because you can do the green tour, see a lot of it, and then obviously watch the hot balloon at sunrise, and you'll leave with a pretty good concept of Cappadocia.
So that's gonna be everything for today's video. We hope you enjoyed watching us go through the green tour and you consider it once you come to Cappadocia.
Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe to our channel, because we will have some more great tips for visiting Istanbul and many other hacks for traveling the world. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.